Ravichandran Iyer v. Justice A. Bhattacharjee, 1995, 5 SCC 457. Introduction. The case of Ravichandran Iyer v. Justice A. Bhattacharjee, 1995, is a landmark judgment of the Supreme Court of India that deals with the independence of the judiciary, judicial accountability, and the role of bar associations. The case arose when certain bar associations passed resolutions demanding the resignation of a sitting Chief Justice of a High Court on allegations of misconduct. The Supreme Court was called upon to decide whether such actions by bar associations were constitutionally valid and whether they interfered with the independence of the judiciary. The court also examined the proper procedure for dealing with allegations of judicial misconduct and stressed the importance of following the constitutional process of impeachment. This case is significant because it clearly explains that judicial independence is a basic feature of the Constitution and that judges must be protected from external pressure, including pressure from professional bodies. It also introduced the idea of an in-house procedure for dealing with lesser allegations against judges. Case details. Citation: 1995, 5 SCC 457. Court: Supreme Court of India. Date of judgment: 5 September, 1995. Petitioner: Advocate C. Ravichandran Iyer. Respondent: Justice A. Bhattacharjee, then Chief Justice of Bombay High Court, and others. Facts of the case. The petitioner filed a public interest litigation, PIL, under Article 32 of the Constitution. He sought a direction to restrain the Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa, Bombay Bar Association, and Advocates Association of Western India from pressuring Justice A. Bhattacharjee to resign. An inquiry, such as by the CBI, into allegations against the judge regarding receipt of large overseas royalties from his books and alleged improper negotiations. The bar associations had passed resolutions demanding the resignation of the judge on the ground of alleged misconduct, even though no impeachment proceedings under the Constitution or the Judges' Inquiry Act, 1968 had been initiated. The petitioner argued that such actions undermined judicial independence and bypassed the constitutional process for removal of judges. In Ravichandran Iyer v. Justice A. Bhattacharjee, 1995, the petitioner, Advocate C. Ravichandran Iyer, filed a public interest litigation, PIL, under Article 32 of the Constitution of India. The petition was filed against Justice A. Bhattacharjee, who was then the Chief Justice of the Bombay High Court, and certain bar associations. Some bar associations, namely the Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa, Bombay Bar Association, and Advocates Association of Western India, had passed resolutions demanding the resignation of Justice Bhattacharjee. These resolutions were based on allegations that the judge had received large overseas royalties for his books and had engaged in improper negotiations. No impeachment proceedings under Articles 124(4) and 124(5) of the Constitution or under the Judges' Inquiry Act, 1968 had been initiated against the judge. The petitioner argued that the resolutions and public pressure by bar associations were unconstitutional and harmed the independence of the judiciary. The petitioner requested the Supreme Court to restrain the bar associations from pressuring the judge to resign and also sought an independent inquiry into the allegations. The case raised important questions about judicial independence and the proper method of dealing with allegations against judges. Issues before the court. In Ravichandran Iyer v. Justice A. Bhattacharjee, 1995, the Supreme Court considered the following important issues. Whether bar associations or bar councils have the legal right or authority to pass resolutions demanding the resignation of a sitting judge. Whether such resolutions and public pressure by bar associations violate the constitutional procedure for removal of judges as provided under Articles 124(4) and 124(5) of the Constitution and the Judges' Inquiry Act, 1968. Whether judicial independence includes protection from pressure by professional bodies, such as bar associations, apart from the executive and legislature. How allegations of judicial misconduct that are not serious enough for impeachment should be dealt with, and whether an internal in-house procedure should be followed. These issues required the court to balance judicial independence with judicial accountability under the Constitution. Judgment holding. In Ravichandran Iyer v. Justice A. Bhattacharjee, 1995, the Supreme Court held that judicial independence must be protected from all kinds of external pressure, including pressure from bar associations. The court ruled that bar associations do not have the power to demand the resignation of a sitting judge through resolutions or public campaigns. The court emphasized that the removal of a judge can only be done through the constitutional process of impeachment under Articles 124(4) and 124(5) of the Constitution and the Judges' Inquiry Act, 1968. Any attempt to force a judge to resign through informal means is constitutionally impermissible. The Supreme Court also held that not all allegations against judges require impeachment. Where allegations are not serious enough to amount to proved misbehavior, they should be examined through an in-house procedure within the judiciary, rather than by external pressure or public condemnation. While the court did not completely restrain bar associations from expressing opinions, it clearly laid down that such actions must not interfere with judicial independence or due process. In short, the court balanced judicial accountability with independence and affirmed that constitutional safeguards must be strictly followed in matters relating to judges' conduct and removal. Reasoning and legal principles. In Ravichandran Iyer v. Justice A. Bhattacharjee, 1995, the Supreme Court explained important legal principles while giving its decision. The main reasoning of the court is as follows. Judicial independence. The court held that judicial independence is a basic feature of the Constitution. It means that judges must be free not only from the influence of the executive and legislature but also from pressure by bar associations, media, and public opinion. Judges should decide cases fearlessly and impartially. Constitutional procedure for removal of judges. The court emphasized that the Constitution provides a complete and detailed procedure for the removal of judges through impeachment under Articles 124(4) and 124(5). Any attempt to bypass this procedure through informal resolutions or pressure is unconstitutional. Role of bar associations. While bar associations are important institutions in the legal system, they do not have disciplinary authority over judges. Passing resolutions demanding resignation amounts to indirect removal and interferes with judicial independence. In-house procedure for judicial accountability. The court recognized that not every allegation of misconduct is serious enough for impeachment. For such cases, the court supported the idea of an in-house procedure within the judiciary to ensure accountability while protecting the dignity and independence of judges. Judicial office as a public trust. The court stated that judicial office is a public trust, and judges must maintain high standards of conduct. At the same time, their independence must be protected from unfair attacks. Conclusion. The court balanced judicial independence with accountability and laid down principles to ensure that judges are protected from undue pressure while maintaining public confidence in the judiciary. Ratio decidendi. The ratio decidendi of the case is that judicial independence is a basic feature of the Constitution and must be protected from all forms of external pressure, including pressure by bar associations. A judge can be removed only through the constitutional process of impeachment under Articles 124(4) and 124(5), and not by informal resolutions or coercive actions of professional bodies. For allegations of misconduct not serious enough to justify impeachment, an internal in-house procedure within the judiciary must be followed to ensure accountability without undermining judicial independence. Significance of the case. Strengthened the principle of judicial independence. Clarified that bar associations cannot bypass constitutional safeguards. Recognized judicial office as a public trust. Laid the foundation for in-house procedures for judicial accountability. widely cited in cases related to judicial ethics and professional conduct. The case of Ravichandran Iyer v. Justice A. Bhattacharjee, 1995, is highly significant because it clearly explains important legal principles relating to judicial independence and judicial accountability. Firstly, the judgment strengthened the principle that judicial independence is a basic feature of the Constitution. The court clarified that judges must be protected not only from the executive and legislature but also from pressure by bar associations, media, and public opinion. Secondly, the case affirmed that the removal of judges can only be done through the constitutional process of impeachment. Bar associations or professional bodies cannot indirectly force a judge to resign by passing resolutions or applying public pressure. Thirdly, the court introduced the concept of an in-house procedure for dealing with allegations of misconduct that are not serious enough for impeachment. This helped balance judicial independence with accountability and laid the foundation for later judicial ethics mechanisms. Lastly, the court declared that judicial office is a public trust, meaning judges must maintain high ethical standards while being protected from unfair attacks. In conclusion, the case is a landmark decision that preserves the dignity of the judiciary, ensures constitutional discipline, and promotes public confidence in the justice system. Important quotations. Judicial office is essentially a public trust. Removal of a judge is governed by the Constitution and cannot be achieved by informal resolutions. Judicial independence includes freedom from all external pressures. Conclusion. The judgment in Ravichandran Iyer v. Justice A. Bhattacharjee, 1995, is a landmark decision that strongly upholds the independence of the judiciary. The Supreme Court made it clear that judges cannot be removed or forced to resign through informal pressure, resolutions, or campaigns by bar associations or any other bodies. Such actions would violate the constitutional safeguards provided for judicial independence. The court also balanced independence with accountability by recognizing that judges are not above scrutiny. It introduced the concept of an in-house procedure for dealing with allegations of misconduct that are not serious enough to warrant impeachment. This ensures fairness, transparency, and protection of judicial dignity. In conclusion, the case reinforces the principle that judicial office is a public trust and that accountability must operate strictly within constitutional and institutional limits. The judgment plays a crucial role in maintaining public confidence in the judiciary and strengthening the rule of law in India. The case reinforces the rule of law and preserves public confidence in the judiciary.